Alrighty. Here we go. In 3, 2. Hello, D-Gens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the Brofict one, AJ. Joining me, as always, man with the numbers, sportsbook whisperer, college basketball guru, daddy of the diamond, all hail the king of the links, the money train. Noah, how you doing today, Bob?
You know what? Another day down. The week is just that much closer to being over. The weekend that much closer. NFL preseason that much closer. The Wyndham Championship that much closer. So we'll keep plugging away tomorrow, and got a little baseball to get us through it, and then we'll have a nice weekend.
Yeah, have a very nice weekend. Very nice weekend. McCormick, how you doing, bro? Yeah, dude, and we got a nice field. Nice field, a lot on the line this weekend with the Wyndham. Last chance to get those all valuable FedEx points to continue on the next 3 weeks, or at least try to continue on the next 3 weeks, I guess we should say, in the PGA playoffs. We will be breaking all of that down. Before we go any further, do just want to take a moment. Shout out to everyone watching here on Rumble, over on YouTube, X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit those follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. But Noah, before we get into the Wyndham, there was another really big monumental event in golf this last week. I'm not sure if you saw it, but the Tour did overcome their fight with the Maxi Golf League with the return of Happy Gilmore. And huge for golf. Huge for golf. Did you have the opportunity to see the movie, Noah, or did I just spoil it for you?
No, I did see it. Yeah.
And what were your general thoughts on it? Because personally, I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was just an enjoyable movie, a very nostalgia-filled, cameo-filled, fun, lighthearted movie with very obvious gags that they had to do, and they did them, such as Scotty Scheffler getting arrested yet again and watching the entire event from prison, which got me the biggest laugh out of me for the night, for sure. But I mean, I don't know, man. If people were expecting like an Emmy performance from this cast and from Adam Sandler and from this writing team, you don't need I don't know what you were really expecting, or if you really watched the first one, you know what I mean? They act like the first one was some I don't know, like Avatar or Titanic or shit like that. No, it was a pretty stupid movie with some really dumb jokes in there, and it paid perfect homage to that. I loved the little flashbacks, just so I don't know, to kind of remind you, because personally, I didn't know Claire from Modern Family was that young chick from Happy Gilmore. So that was shocking to me. But no, I had no idea personally.
I thought the flashbacks were completely unnecessary unless you've never seen the first one, or it's been forever since you have. It was very enjoyable, and I think my opinion on it was very enjoyable the first watch through. I think the second time I watch it's not going to have the same effect because honestly, the writing and the plot was fucking horrible. But I didn't mind.
No.
Because it was, just everything that I wanted other than that was there. Again, yeah. I think watching it a second or third time, it's going to be absolutely terrible, and I don't know if I'll get through the whole thing. But
this is one of those movies that you don't go back to it right away. You know what I mean? You let it sit on the shelf for a little bit, and then maybe you're having a couple drinks at one night, and you're like, oh, you know what? Let's throw on Happy Gilmore 2, and then because you got some liquid comedy in you maybe get a couple extra chuckles out of it. You never know. But
I very much appreciated it. But again, I think the writing and the plot line were awful. So I don't know if it'll hold up watching it more than just the first viewing.
I will say I love how Shooter was in a mental institute. And he's been in there for a freaking minute, you know what I mean? And then Maxie bails him out. I love that whole part of it. I also shout out to the golfers. Shout out to the golfers for actually being able to have a sense of humor and, have a little personality in this. You know what I mean? The whole Shooter pointing out all their mistakes. Rory letting Becky Lynch give him a titty twister and Bryson saying those are my titties. Like good for them for not being too serious and knowing that this is a dumb movie and these are dumb lines, but it was hilarious coming from them. And then the whole Scotty learning how to do the hockey punch, that was gold, dude. That was gold.
Yeah,
Scotty, do you want to pay bail? Leave me alone. That was great, dude.
I really loved the whole playing it into the Zalatoris as the cat.
That was fantastic. That was.
I just my favorite was Happy saying whatever, and he's I fucking hate you.
I watched this with my wife and my mother-in-law. She was in town, and I was crying laughing when they made the connection with Will Zalatoris and the kid. They're like, AJ, what's so funny? And he's like, oh, don't worry. I'm like, don't worry about it. It'll take too long. Take a little too long. I do also love, though, how you had Brooks and DeChambeau on, the tour side going up against this new golf league, if you want to draw parallels. But
they started filming and writing of this in 2022.
Did they really? No, I didn't know it was that long ago.
That's why, that's why you had, that's why you had Bubba Watson, who is on Live but completely irrelevant. You got Brooks and Bryson fully in it. I think Bryson still would have been if.
But Bryson was wearing his Live stuff.
Like I said, they started filming in 2022, so I'm sure at that point they weren't going to just abandon all their casting and script to like.
True. Oh, the good call, McCormick. John Daly, John Daly was funny as shit.
That was one of my favorite gags, is the fact that they're like, John Daly lives with them and they're babysitting him.
That was fantastic, dude. That was fantastic. I loved how all of I loved how all of the kids were just like happy and just overly aggressive about everything. And then they beat the shit out of Eminem. Shout out to Eminem too. That was priceless. Great movie. I think that's the final judgment. Great movie. Let's not watch it for like a year or two though. Okay.
Yeah, at least. Again, I just I don't want to rush back into it because I have this feeling that it's not going to be super enjoyable the second time through. So I'm like, I'll just table that for a rainy day, like multiple years from now.
Yeah, absolutely. A big rainy day, like really raining. And yeah, really raining. But no, good movie. Shout out to them for actually, coming through with it. I was a fan of it. I am a fan of it. But shout out, yeah. Oh, Boban was fantastic as that guy's kid.
My favorite was somebody tweeted out. They said my only complaint was that they censored the Boban scene.
Right? That should have been a little bit better. But Road Dog in the chat, MJF, I forgot he was one of the sons of Happy. That was perfect casting. MJF is an absolute dog. Shout out to Happy Gilmore. It was a good movie if you were hoping for it to be just dumb and stupid and funny, and that's exactly what it was. I also loved how everything was a flask. That was. Like, don't get me, like the alcoholism part wasn't funny, but everything was a flask. That part was a little funny. Anyway, anything else on Happy Gilmore? Anything else that happened in golf this week, Noah?
No. As you kind of mentioned earlier, a big week. I know you said with jockeying for position there, trying to get into that top 70, make the playoffs. But I also want to say too, I mean that 125 cutoff. That's a big one too for players to earn or keep their full-time player card for next year. And we don't have a ton of big shocking names sitting there on the bubble, but there are a few, and it's going to get really interesting. I know Ricky Fowler a couple years ago was right on the outside and sweating it out and literally got in with like the 125th or 124th spot to keep his full-time player card, which, I know Ricky isn't Ricky of old, but would have been weird if, Ricky Fowler lost his full-time player card. But
Yeah. You don't see that burnt orange on Sundays anymore. The highlighter running around, that'd be crazy. McCormick, I think you summed it up perfectly. Uh, it was perfect. Great movie. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the Wyndham Championship, last event of the regular season, Noah. This is being played at Sedgefield Country Club in Greensboro, North Carolina. It's a par 70, 7,131 yards. It's an $8.2 million purse. Your previous winner here was, of course, Aaron Rye. Some stuff about this course, Noah. It's a tight course, you know what I mean? Not bad distance wise, not bad par wise, but it is a tight course when it comes to the fairways, and a lot of dog legs on this course. A lot of a lot of times you're going to be forced on those par fours to probably lay up and not going to be able to attack the green like you want to. Those 100, 175, 150 yard shots are going to be very important, those approach shots. And the rough's not too bad if you do go errant. You're dealing with about 2.5 inches on average at this course for the rough, maybe a little bit longer for a PGA event like this one. But, hey, tight greens as well. That's what you're dealing with. Just a tight course all around. You know what I mean? And so be accurate, be straight with the ball, and drop them dimes on the green. That's what we're going to be looking for in this one, bro.
Yeah, I will say on this course, though, too, the greens tend to be nice and soft. Yeah, if somebody's dialed in on this course, they can really just go pin seeking. As long as you're hitting the fairway, you hit the fairway, you go pin seeking.
Yeah,
it's. I remember, Tom Kim a couple years ago, which was so funny because he quadruple bogeyed the very first hole. And then won the tournament by 5 strokes.
Yeah.
And he was dialed in with the putter, and he was dialed in with his irons and his wedges. And I think that's the key here, because this is a course that you can go pin seeking on. There's not a ton of trouble if you slightly miss off the green. So from that standpoint, I would say it promotes being aggressive towards those pins.
Yeah.
And from there, you're not dealing with a terrible amount of undulation on the greens and anything. So you're going to have a lot of short and medium range putts that are very makeable. So you go pin seeking, you leave yourself within 15, even 10 feet. You're going to make a lot of those putts, or a lot of these. Maybe not you and I, but a lot of these PGA tour players are going to make a lot of those putts.
Yeah.
More so than they normally would. So. It'll be interesting. Weather should be, totally fine. I mean, the super high humidity also is going to help with those balls not rolling out a ton off the green. There's going to be a lot of iron and wedge shot opportunities where you can just stick it. And so if and that's, easier said than done, but there always seems to be a couple guys who just have their groove any given week. And this week, I'm sure will be no different. And if somebody's just absolutely just pin seeking and sticking those balls and leaving themselves, 10 to 15 feet or less on every hole, they're going to have the ability to go pretty low.
Yeah, go pretty low and hold that score for majority, especially if we got that weather. Stay in pretty consistent golf weather for, the weekend. Sweet, dude. Before we get into the odds, let's talk FedEx Cup, because this is, as we mentioned, a very important event. We talked about some guys that are on the bubble in general, but let's talk just the FedEx Cup playoffs coming up here. Noah, what's the storylines we might need to be looking out for going into this weekend, and some golfers we might, that could pull a rabbit out of their ass and be pretty competitive?
Yeah, you want me to start there, or just start with, because I know if you look at the top 30, there's not a ton of guys competing in the top 30 this week, but some names of note. You've got Ben Griffin, who's sitting 7th. He is the highest in the FedEx Cup standings to be playing in this event. With a win, with nobody in front of him playing, Ben Griffin could move all the way from 7 to 3rd. So when you're talking money at the end of the season, that's a significant difference, like multiple millions of dollars. I know PGA Tour has moved away this year from the preferred point scoring in the final event.
Which is so dumb.
Well, Scotty was the biggest advocate for that, and
I get it, but like, fine, then let's, fine, cut it in half then. Don't give the guy a 10-stroke lead going into the weekend. Cut it in half or something
well,
like that. But
it only ends up being a 10-stroke lead on the bottom, what, 4 or 5 guys, and then a 9-stroke
exactly.
lead on some and 8 on others. But I thought the format of that was totally fine because it rewards regular season performance. But
Exactly. And it gives it a little bit less of an any given Sunday type of a vibe. Like, okay, yeah, Scotty, like if Scotty wins this year, it's not going to shock anyone. Whether he has a 9-stroke lead or no stroke lead, it's not going to shock anyone. But if
but I
Scotty
guess
wasn't
Scotty
in
was,
this field and it's been peppered with so many winners and there hasn't been that one dominant golfer, or there was one guy that kind of stood out and really, had a couple extra wins, like,
I
I
mean,
don't
that
know,
would be
man.
that guy you're talking about would be Rory.
True.
Um, no, Scotty I think Scotty was too fucking bored last year.
That too. Yeah. He's too bored. He's like, guys, like if it's gonna be a playoff, like a championship, I want to compete. I don't want to just pull ahead from the start.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, Ben Griffin, a name to keep an eye on. You got Keegan Bradley sitting there in 10th right now. He could move up to. He could move up to 7th if Ben Griffin misses the cut. If Ben Griffin doesn't move the cut, Keegan can only jump 2 spots into 8th. Ryder Cup points, though, on the line here for Keegan Bradley, who I think with a win could potentially play himself into the top 6 points-wise for the Ryder Cup. So that's still on the table, something to keep an eye on. That's probably the more important thing when it comes to Keegan Bradley. Yeah, I mean, you've got, Andrew Novak, who's sitting at 12, could play as well way into the top 10, also could get all the way up to 8th, I believe. Bobby Mack sitting at 15 could play his way into the top 10. And then, from there, rounding out the top 30 guys who are competing, you got Hideki's in the mix. I think Sam Stevens, Lucas Glover, maybe, Ryan Gerard, and Sungjae, which Sungjae sitting there at 30 might be a little more pressure to do something this week, although with most of the guys in front of him not playing, I think Sungjae just needs to make the cut and he'll probably not move down in the standings at all.
Yeah.
Same for the rest of the guys. They're all sitting 20 to 30. Obviously, 30 is the big number we talk about because with the Tour Championship, only the top 30 play in that. You got a handful of guys between 31 and 50 who are playing in this event. I would say it's less than half. Favorite in this, Matt Fitzpatrick. But you also got Jake Knapp, Jordan Spieth sitting there at 50, Akshay Bhatia, Cam Young, Denny McCarthy, Michael Kim, I believe Dietrich and Jacob Bridgman are also playing in this. Not sure about Brian Campbell. I don't remember. Anyways, then you get outside of the top 50, and this is where most of the golfers outside of the top 50, in between about 50 and call it 130, 140, are playing in this event. And these guys, I would say, have a lot to play for, right? Because when you look at points, Bud Cauley sitting at 51, or even Jordan Spieth sitting at 50, has 840 points this season. There's 500 points on the line for the winner of this event. So there is quite a big jump that just this one win could take care of for just about anybody who's sitting with, 350 plus, which will take you all the way down to Max Homa at 106.
Yeah.
Victor Perez also at 351 is at 107. But, it's something interesting to keep an eye on just because, obviously less points for second, third place. Second place, I believe, probably get somewhere in the 300 something range, which is still a sizable enough amount to take anybody in about the top 75, 80 into the top 70. So, oh, sorry, what the hell was I looking at? Oh, I was
I
looking
have
at
no
top
idea.
50. Sorry,
No.
that's not the
Okay.
important thing. 595 is where the points are at right now. Maddie Schmid sitting there after a good week last week at 70th. So, I mean, a second place is going to take anybody with the, inside about the top 145 into the top 70. That's not factoring in the points that other players are earning. So you
Yeah.
need a little bit more than that. But yeah, there's a lot of movement that can happen. And then you get that 125 mark sitting right now. Brant Snedeker at 280 points. So for anybody sitting outside of that, depending on where you are, you probably need anywhere from top 7, 8 to 15 or 16 will get you there. Hard to speculate where those numbers are going to fall at, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's really only like one guy that I'm eyeing up down there, and that would be Sahith Theegala sitting at 144. He is going to need to have a big week, like
For sure.
to keep that full time player card status. I imagine Sahith probably needs a top 12, 14 or better. It's hard to say where that number is going to fall at exactly because you do have ties to factor in, how many points, how the guys ahead of him are doing. But Sahith's going to need to show up this week if he wants to keep that full time
Yeah.
player card. And it's crazy that the fall from grace that he's had this season, and he has just not performed at all this season. And we're not just talking about wins. It's the not even able to get. He's got 0 top 10s in 17 events this season.
Nothing. It feels when I watch him, it just feels like nothing is clicked for him. Like if something is always off kilt for him. If his
yeah.
Yeah, if his irons aren't working, his putting and driving's doing great. If his driving's not looking the best, his putting and chipping's looking good. If his putting's not looking the best, everything else is doing good. Like, I don't know. He needs this off season, that's for sure. I sure as hell hope he gets his tour card, but he definitely needs this off season to just, I don't know, reset.
And being a younger star of the game, like we're still going to see him playing on tour, but if he doesn't have that full-time player card, it might limit the number of events that he has next year, which is going to make it harder to get back into that top 125. Now, granted, all you got to do is win one event to earn your player card for the next year, and one win is going to get you enough FedEx Cup points to get there. Worst case scenario, you just go play in, when one of the majors is happening, you play in one of the alternate events. There's still 300 points on the line for those. So
exactly.
And it just might put him in an interesting situation next year where he doesn't have full control over which events he's playing, because if he's not getting invited to all of them, still got to get that golf in, still got to find a way to earn those points. I mean, 209 for a guy like Sahith Theegala is just abysmal this year.
Yeah, it really is. And if he does get exemptions for those events in the PGA, can he go and just play on the Corn Ferry?
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who's won on the Corn. Like
I know.
That's how he got on the tour, but I don't know that there's any rule against that. There's not, because we've seen plenty of golfers do that before, who have graduated off the Corn Ferry, earned their PGA player card, lost their PGA player card, and had to go back through the Corn Ferry ranks. Actually happens more than you would think. They're just usually not guys we're constantly talking about.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It might just, because again, he is so young in this sport and everything. Might not be the worst thing. Go back down for assignment, work on your fundamentals, get it back in between the ears, and then.
Yeah, I don't think you do that if you're Sahith, just because money.
Money's a thing. Yeah, no, absolutely. But I don't know.
Even if you only get to play, instead of having the option to play every week, it's like, okay, you're not invited to the signature events. You're not I imagine he would still get to play in maybe not all the majors, but some of them at least. But even if you get rid of signature events and majors, there's still enough opportunity with cuts made to like make the cut over half the time.
Yeah.
Say you play 16 or 18 events in the season, make the cut half the time, you're making way more money than you would on a Corn Ferry Tour.
No, definitely. I get that. I totally get that.
And one or two top tens, and you're in position to earn your like that. That's literally all it takes. Is the crazy thing, right? Because I feel like all of these golfers, like you're taking 150, 200 of the best golfers in the entire world, and all it takes to finish in the top 125 is like maybe two top tens,
Yeah.
one to two top tens. One of those being a top five, and you're
good to go.
You finish second or third in any normal event. That's enough points to put you in the top 125. Which is, it's just crazy to think about that you have all this talent, and you're talking about the top like 150, 200 guys at whatever it may be, and yet 90% of them are lucky if they finish in the top 10 once, because it's crazy to think about how much talent disparity there is between the top 15, 20 golfers and then the rest of the
just remember, golf is hard. Golf is hard. Golf is the only sport where you consistently can watch and see a pro who has made millions and millions of dollars playing the sport hit a shot just like you did earlier today. Yeah.
Oh, and when people are like, what the hell, when I laugh at a really bad golf shot for these PGA Tour guys, even, golfers I like,
yeah.
I'm like, no, it's great. It's funny because they're human too.
Yeah, like that's exactly what I would do in that scenario. It's 150 to the hole. I skull it past it and almost kill someone. Like that is exactly what I would do. Except I'm hitting into someone,
Was that Spieth earlier this season?
That was Spieth earlier this season, dude.
Literally, like mishit a shot and it flew maybe a foot and a half above.
Well, who was it at the Open that was just slicing everything with their wedge? Like everything just. It wasn't even like a pretty one. Like it was just straight off the face. Who the hell was that? It was funny as hell. I mean, it wasn't funny for the bystanders, but it was funny as hell for anyone watching at home. Let me tell you.
Well, I just remember Spieth at whatever event that was, like literally almost taking someone's head off. Like it went, no joke, maybe 18 inches above this guy's head on a rope. And the guy was like maybe standing 30, 40 yards in front of where Spieth was. So
it's like, I've done that before.
Like that would be a murder ball.
Yeah. I don't know if you're standing up after that.
You get hit by a drive, probably not the case, because the ball's been in the air long enough that velo is going to slow down a little bit
eventually. Well, it depends. Yeah.
I mean, if you get hit in the head by a drive, still might be bad. But that guy takes a whatever that was 10, 12 degree launch angle straight to the noggin off of a long iron. Like, yeah, good luck.
Whew. You're screwed, bud. Anyway, shout out to the PGA golfers. We know it's hard what you do. We know it's hard what you do. We experience it every time we go out there.
That's my favorite saying is anybody who says golf is easy has either never played golf or they're a liar.
Oh, absolutely. For sure. Their favorite word is, hey, that's good, right? Good. We're good right there. Yeah, you're good 35 yards out from that putt. No worries. Asshole. And they ask for it. That's what pisses me off when they ask for it. Like, yeah, that's good, right?
See,
you need to see that one, pal.
that's my thing. I'm never gonna ask for a putt.
No.
I think there's a certain respect to, like, obviously if you're just out there with your buddies playing for fun, I'm gonna have a lot more leeway with, I'll give you a 4 or 5 footer that you might have a 50% chance at missing, just because, I'm like, we're respecting the pace of play, the course. If we're out there for fun, if we got money on the line, we're playing competitive, I'm going to make you probably take everything outside of 2-3 feet.
Yeah.
Just because, there's money on the line and everything.
Unless you're Matt, then I'm making Matt hit those because he's an asshole about those.
But yeah, I mean, I'll give you some shit sometime and be like, "Come on, you're not going to give me that," you know.
Right.
But I'm not going to be like, "Oh, that's good, right?"
That's good, right?
I'm not. I'm not.
No, it's
I'm
not.
not fishing for the gimme. I'll give you
Now
shit if
for
you.
sure it's not, because I know you don't know how to make that putt, and you can't make that putt. And so yeah, I gotta see that one now, pal.
Right. Whereas if you don't give me one that I feel like you should, I'm going to give you shit for it, and I'm going to step up
Oh
and
yeah,
putt
yeah,
it
yeah. I'm gonna
anyways.
still putt it, yeah.
I'm
And
going to.
then, but you just gotta sink it then. If you talk shit after they don't give it to you, and you
Oh yeah.
talk shit to them about not, you gotta
Well, I'm not going to
gotta
talk
lock
shit
in.
unless I'm not going to talk shit unless I'm confident I'm making that putt. So
Well, with that, no, you ready to get into the top 20?
yeah, I've got a shorter card than usual. Not in
You
love
know,
with as many names this week.
this feels just like, week 18 in the NFL season. Like, yes, I'm going to bet on it because there's football on and there's about to be no football on. I'm not excited about betting on it, but there are some names that are fairly intriguing in this card.
I think part of it is this event tends to be a lot like the 3M Open, where it's just it's not a tough course. And the crazy thing with the PGA Tour with this is the tougher the course, it feels like the more separation we see between the better golfers and then,
Yeah.
and the, I don't want to call them bad golfers, but like not top tier guys on tour. You get easier courses and you start having random guys up at the top of the leaderboard because these are really fucking talented golfers. And if these guys are staying out of trouble and hitting fairways, hitting greens, like they're plenty talented enough where a lot of guys can contest for a really good score, and that's what happens at the 3M Open almost all the time. It's probably to some degree what's going to happen here at the Wyndham,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
so
yeah.
it makes betting on it a lot more challenging. I think I saw Fitzpatrick's the favorite at plus 2,000.
That is correct.
And then who Keegan Bradley was at 2,500.
Ben Griffin, Keegan Bradley tied at 2,500.
Yeah, so we got at least the book's leaving it wide open on this one. Like they know they're not trying to pull fast one or anything.
The book's like, listen, we've been so mean to you this year with Rory and Scotty and everything. We're gonna give you guys an opportunity to really open fire this weekend if you want to.
Well,
So shout out to the book.
The book knows it's wide open, so they're like, we
Yeah.
can do this. Like we're gonna leave this wide open. We're gonna try to entice you with these big plus numbers and see what happens.
Interesting. I haven't looked at this in a while because usually it's with like the winner without tab, because it's usually, winner without Scotty, winner without Rory, winner without Xander, winner without et cetera, et cetera. And this time it's just one category. It's winner without Fitzpatrick, McIntyre, Spieth, Bradley, and Griffin. And the odds are not much better. I mean, a little bit better, but also not really.
Slam Jake Knapp, baby.
Plus 3,500 for the winner without.
Honestly, probably rather just fucking take him outright at that point, right? I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference between the outright and that? I mean,
so Jake Knapp at plus 3,500, 4,000. So it's about a $500, 500 cent difference. 50 cent
I guess
difference.
it's worth it because you take out 5 names from the field if you're willing to give up that 500.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just such a, I don't know, it's a weird field. Like it just moves everybody up and doesn't really, like they had a
Yeah,
call.
but if you like a golfer in particular and you're not paying that high of a tax on it, you're taking you're taking basically what the book thinks are the top 5 names out of the field.
Yeah.
Actually, I might just fucking bet both the Hogards on that one.
There we go. That's the Hogard angle this week. Winner without. Give me both Hogards.
But I feel like at that point, like you could probably take a top 5 line at not that much different, and then not have to worry about who's in front of your guy.
Okay, so Jake Knapp at plus 500. You want top 5?
Well, I don't know. How much different is the top five line versus the winner without?
So
Actually, it
plus
probably is very different because
very
the book has no fucking clue what's going on here.
no, you got about a 2,000 point difference there. It's plus 750. And
Yeah.
then
Okay.
top 10 is plus 360.
Well, interesting.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
Interesting food for thought. If I guess take that bet on any golfer you really like to win. If you're looking for just a little bit of insurance on there, I guess.
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know. It's
I don't know.
interesting.
They're
Interesting pick.
not taxing it very much, so
No, not at all. Which is what's. But again, they just really do not know what's happening.
no. So I actually do find that, like I said, a little intriguing because you can essentially take the top five names off the board, and your guy could finish second, third, fourth, even, and you still win your
No,
bet with only a little tax on it.
so you want to know what happened? No, you want to know what happened? The sports maker, the sports, the odds makers got together for their golf meeting that week yesterday, and one guy was like, "What are you talking?" Because Aaron Rye is the outright there on the winner without at plus 2,200,
Yeah,
sitting there.
defending champ.
Defending champ. And so there was a guy in there dying on a hill that said Aaron Rye is going to win this. He should be listed as the favorite for this event. And there was a guy in there who said there are 5 golfers in this field that have a better chance of winning. And he's like, go ahead, name them. And so he named the 5 guys, and he's like, fine, let's see. Let's see what gets more bites. Aaron Rye at plus 2,200 or Matt Fitzpatrick at 2,000. And so I respect the guy who stood up for Aaron Rye. I respect the hell out of that guy.
That's funny. That's exactly these bookmakers were
that's totally what happened though, because yes, there's an algorithm and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's the humans that humans make those decisions on especially events like this, like golf events and racing and stuff, of where those odds go.
And usually most of those are a scam, and you should not take those bets ever because there's a reason that the books put out these weird ass prop bets for you because they think people are going to bite on it and somehow they have an edge.
Yep. Or I like my theory better, and 2 guys were just arguing about who's a better golfer. So,
I like your theory better. I just think mine's more realistic.
Maybe.
They're like,
anyway,
where's the money coming in? How can we get an edge on this to line our pockets even more?
People like Aaron Rye, so let's try this. All right. I think McCormick wants us to get into the top 20 because he just threw together a parlay of Bhatia, Novak, and Knapp. Top 20 plus 24.70. That is not too shabby.
I am on 2 of the 3 of those.
2 of the 3 of those. All right, let's get into it. No, at top 20, where do you want to start on this, bud?
I'm going to start with Captain America.
Got to start with the captain here.
Yeah. Captain America.
Are we going with the captain or Captain America? What is the official Ryder Cup captain team name?
I don't know, but
it's kind of like Cap. Like that's my Cap right there. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I kind of hate that.
Okay. That's my captain. The captain.
Yeah, I expect Keegan to have a nice week. Ben Griffin.
Nice to see him back.
I've been on Ben Griffin for a better part of this season. He has been doing me nothing but solids. So we're going to keep riding that. Hideki was an interesting one. I am staying off of that. Same thing with Lucas Glover. That was another name that he's been one of the only golfers who has consistently played this event decently well, but I am staying off of it. I'm not on Bhatia. I'm skipping a lot of this. Give me Jake Knapp though. He's another guy I've been big on. And
I like it.
I thought he was going to get it done last week, but Kurt Kitayama was just on another level.
He was unreal last week.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Kurt Kitayama does not back it up this week.
I'm not thinking he is either.
But you can go ahead and give me. Oh, we're a little out of order from the top 10. That's fine. Give me the Postman.
Postman, let's go.
Plus 200 for him. I am liking Denny McCarthy a lot this week. And then you know I gotta do it. You know I gotta do it. Give me the Hogards,
The
baby.
whole guards. Nikolai sitting at 225.
Rasmus is way down, and I do not understand this because they were big time far apart for the Open.
Yeah.
And
Rasmus
Rasmus,
plus 350.
well, and Rasmus was they had a decent gap too with the Scottish Open, and Rasmus played really well. Nikolai not so much, and they both played pretty damn well at the Open.
I still don't think the bookmakers know which one is which.
I don't know which one's which until they stick their names up there, and they're like, oh, okay.
Which is very helpful. Shout out to the broadcast for always
That,
being very quick on throwing their
that's the
names
thing
up.
about twins, right? If they both just cut their hair the same and shave the same, yeah, you wouldn't know which one's which.
I think that's my new goal, Noah. Like, I want our show to get big enough to where that eventually reaches the Hogards. You know what I mean? And it's like, maybe we should do it one day.
Dude, I just want them to. I was hoping. Oh man, they were so close to playing Sunday together at the
I
Open.
know.
And it would have been great because then they could have completed our vision of parent trapping the PGA Tour.
It would have been epic. It would have been epic, but maybe next year. Maybe next year at a major we'll get.
Their only problem is their caddies aren't twins, so figure that out.
That is a bummer. But I think
Yeah.
I think they could go so deep into it. Like, you just get the same colored grips, get the same colored bag, the same color. Like, they got to go that deep, I think. And then even the caddies would be confused by whose bag is whose. And they don't know who they should be following.
I mean, when they were playing together at the Zurich, it was great. Except for one had a 5 o'clock shadow, the other didn't.
That was
Rasmus
a bummer.
had the 5 o'clock shadow and a little bit longer hair. Nikolai was a little more, trimmed up on both ends. But
just one time, guys, it will make great internet. Like, we are trying to help you out here.
I'm telling you, I want them to just fucking parent trap the tour, their caddies, whoever else. Especially if they're playing an event where they're in a threesome, that would be fucking phenomenal, right? They wear the same exact thing, and then their caddies are behind them, and then they just walk side by side down the fairway, start doing a little 2-man weave, bobbing and weaving, and then just confuse the hell out of everybody.
Which Hogard is this? I don't know.
The announcers are going to be like, "This is Rasmus or Nikolai, one of the two."
That would be fantastic, Noah. Anything else in the top 20?
Yeah, sorry, I got sidetracked. I got Novak on my card.
Novak, all right.
Plus 240. I am going to take Max Homa. Has struggled a lot this year, but has played a couple events pretty well. I'm just a little confused on where the pricing is here. So if you're going to give me plus 280 on Max Homa to top 20, I think I will take it. Not a favorite of mine to win this event by any means, but that's okay. Where was Rasmus at, by the way?
320, 350, 350.
And then my longest shot here, which I don't even think should be my longest shot, Adam Svensson.
Yeah, where is he at? Oh, wow. Down here at 450?
Yeah, a guy who he broke the course record at TPC Twin Cities, only for it to get tied 2 days later. But didn't have a tremendous ending to the 3M Open, but that certainly 11 under on any given round is going to catch your attention, and I think Svensson's a guy who's been the last 3 years in the top 30 of this event, and so I'm a little perplexed why he's all the way at plus 450. I think coming off of a really good round and then a decent week, which was really just carried by the really good round, I think we're going to see Svensson come out and do pretty decent.
I could see that. And that's it?
Yeah, that's what I got. Like I said, shorter card than I usually have by about 4 or 5 names, but it's okay. We're keeping it tight. Everybody's at plus odds, so I can't have too many in there. Although
fair.
You talk about throwing darts at a dartboard. Maybe if everything's at plus odds, I just need to throw more darts at the dartboard.
Exactly. I like that mentality. Responsibly, I like that mentality. I'm going to start off on the bottom too, or down here. We might as well. I'm going to throw plus 450 Sahith Theegala on the card. Again, a guy that we're talking about that
I
is.
want it to happen. I want it to happen. I just don't see it happening.
I don't either, but I'm feeling that if I throw a little bit of money on that, he'll feel that. You know what I mean? And he'll feel that like people are behind him and really want to see him do it. And he'll lock in a little bit more.
Little 11th hour magic here.
Exactly. You feel like, oh damn, the Brofict one just bet top 20 on me. I gotta really step this one up.
He also is damn well aware what is
yeah, he's aware where he's at.
It's gonna be probably some of the most pressure that he's had on him. Obviously carrying a 2-hole lead on Sunday at the Waste Management a couple of years ago. Probably a little bit more pressure than this, but
yeah, I wouldn't
choke that away. By the way,
you should just go ahead, have a little birdie juice, and get the round started. You know what I mean? That's what I would do.
Yeah, something.
Anyway, I'm gonna go up here. I'm on the Hogards as well. I do like the Novak pick. Give me my boy Sung Jae being a little disrespected here. Guy's got that dog in him. He's top 30 right now in the FedEx Cup rankings, and he's still playing this event, trying to just improve his stature, and I like that out of him a lot. So let's get a big weekend out of my boy Sung Jae at plus 225.
Well, does it? Yeah, and he is sitting at 30.
I said, yeah, he's top 30 though.
No, I know. I was just going to point out, not to throw any shade on Sung Jae or anything, but
sounds like you're going to then.
No. I was just going to say there is more separation between Sung Jae and the 75th best golfer in the FedEx Cup standings than there is between Sung Jae and Keegan sitting at 10.
Oof.
Which is, again, crazy how skewed these points are because the guys at the top are just... And Sung Jae's not had a bad season, but like you don't even need to have that great of a season to be 30th. And that's us sitting on our couch here saying that. It's obviously very hard to do that, but...
Of course. Again, he's had a very consistent season. That's what I say about Sung Jae.
Sung Jae's had a not super notable season, yet he's still sitting there at 30.
Super consistent. Love the Jake Knapp pick. I am on Patia at the plus 170. I think he's playing really good golf towards the back end here, hoping he can put together a solid 4 days, which he really hasn't been able to do, but we'll see what he can do there. Siwoo at plus 150 doesn't make any sense to me, so that's why I'm taking it. I feel like it should be a little bit lower, but I know he's been...
God, you have the blinders on so hard with Siwoo.
I don't know why. I don't know why, but I'll lose a unit on Siwoo at to top 20 at plus 150. Cosign Ben Griffin, cosign Keegan Bradley, and that is all I got in the top 20. No, you ready to move to the top 10?
Yeah, so you know how you've been on Siwoo a lot this season?
I don't want to hear the numbers, Noah. If I wanted to hear the numbers, I would have asked you for the numbers.
Do you know that he's 45th in the FedEx Cup points with 882? 0 wins? Two whole top 10s, though. He's got 2 whole top 10s this season.
How many top 10s do you have, Noah?
0. How many times have you bet on Siwoo to top 10?
I bet on the top 20, Noah. Let's be very clear on what that last.
I just before you jump into it on the top 10.
I was going to take him top 10.
Okay.
See, this would have been a better stat if I took him top 10. If you're really trying to throw shade at my Siwoo Kim blinders.
I'm just saying it's your Sung Jae of the last 2-3 years.
And Sahith was last year. Poor guys. I'd do this to them. I'm sorry, guys.
You're just cursing them.
Dude, I feel so bad. I feel like I feel bad now, putting my stamp on a golfer because they're just doomed to have a terrible season. I feel responsible. I do want that noted. Anyway, keeping it moving. Noah, top 10. Matty Fitz sitting there at plus 210. Griffin at the plus 250. Captain America at plus 240. You're right. Captain America does sound better. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, I'm gonna be on. I'm gonna be on Ben Griffin definitely there.
Like it.
Also, Keegan, probably the extent that I'm gonna take Keegan in this one. Um, yeah, and then Jake Knapp's gonna be on my card definitely for a top five. What is that? A
360.
360. We can deal with that. You can throw the Postman on there.
Postman.
Yeah, we'll take a little Postman at plus 400. I'll take both the Hogards, knowing
Of
that
course.
one of them will top 10 and the other probably won't.
Which one? Who knows?
Well, Rasmus is at a much better price, so.
Plus 750. My God, they hate Rasmus.
They go back and forth, too. That's the weirdest fucking thing about it, too, because Nikolai's always been the favorite in the odds, and then there was like a 6 to 8 month stretch where Rasmus was getting shorter odds than Nikolai, and then that was relatively recently, and then now in the last like 2-3 months, whatever, they've flip flopped again. They're probably the most spread apart that I've seen, and honestly, on the course, I don't think Rasmus has really been playing any worse. Just kind of blowing my mind there. I'm going to go ahead and throw a little flyer on Max Homa top 10.
Wow. Okay.
Just because of where the number's at.
Plus 600. Not bad.
I mean, Max Homa's still a pretty decent golfer, right?
Yeah.
Like, if he's got it clicking, he can string something together. I did stay off of Tom Kim this week. I just feel like Buddy's got to get something going. I may have him on my card in a little weird way, though. But give me Adam Svensson as well.
Okay.
Who I think value-wise is probably the biggest steal you can get on.
At plus 1,000, yeah.
Well, not just for top 10. I'm just if you're weighing like the possibility of your bet hitting versus where the number's at, I think this is like the screwiest line on any golfer. And I'm talking about the lines on Adam Svensson. I think they're a little messed up, and maybe I'll be wrong and he'll miss the cut, but I got a good feeling we're going to see Svensson in the mix going into Sunday.
I like it. No, anything else?
No, that's what I got with my top tens.
Solid, brother. Solid. I don't have a lot in my top 10 either, if we're going to be completely honest here. I am taking a Sungjae at plus 450. I'll ride the Hogards with you because why not? Postman at plus 400. Love that. Knapp at 360. I'll take Aaron Rai. I'll dip my toe in on Aaron Rai to top 10 this at plus 250. Knows the course, has played it well. I didn't like where the number was to what?
I said it's a good line.
I didn't like.
That's the wonderful thing with this event is everything's a fucking good line.
Yeah, I didn't like where I was at with top 20, but I'll bite at 250 here. Ben Griffin, captain. Yep. I'm iffy on Batia. That's the only other pick that I have where I'm just kind of meh.
He was doing so well at the 3M Open, and I don't know where
something
did he think it was a live event and he didn't have to play Sunday? Played so well through 54 holes, and then he shot like 4 or 5 over on Sunday.
He was awful. On Sunday. It was unbelievable.
Like, how do you go from being in the final group to having no TV coverage?
And I took him. I was so mad at myself too. I took him Friday to win outright at a solid number, and I had a nice cash out option. But I was like, meh. Well, he's so far ahead.
He had a great Saturday, and he was tied for the lead going into Saturday. He's in the final pairing, and all you need to know is he had no fucking TV coverage being in the final pairing because he was like, I think he shot 4 or 5 over, and he was like 8 or 9 strokes back from the lead at that point. So they're not.
That would have been bad for the game. Just bad for the game. That would have been bad for the game.
They showed his final putt on 18. They're like, oh, he finished his
Oh,
round.
thank God. Thank God. Ooh, McCormick adding Bradley Griffin to the top 20 parlay for with a top 10 there.
McCormick's going for the pay the rent parlay right there,
Shit, that might be the retire me parlay right there. Oh
plus
man.
80,000.
Top 5, Noah, what you want to do, brother?
I'm gonna ride with Ben Griffin. This is, I think, where I hop off the Keegan Bradley train. I think he's gonna do well, but I don't know entirely. Jake Knapp's on my card for top 5. Big on Jake Knapp, man.
I can tell.
Well, like I said, I have been. He's been making me money. Can't fault the guy for that. And then
No.
Adam Svensson's going to be my third pick here. And
Svensson.
I'm a little tempted by the Hogards, but I think I'll stop at top 10 on them and just see what happens.
That's fair. Where are you?
Guessing Svensson should be at a plus 2,000 mark or some shit like that.
22.
Yeah.
22 hundo. Not too shabby there. I'm kind of like, do you have anything else in the top 5?
No. I'm just running with those 3 top 5.
I'm gonna take Patia top 5. No, I'm not. I meant Aaron Rye. I'm sorry. Aaron Rye top 5. Ben Griffin top 5. I'm good there. Any outrights for you, Noah?
Yeah. Ben Griffin. No. Yes. Yeah, actually, all 3 of the guys that I rode top 5 on, I am going to splash a little outright because if one of them hits, we're at plus units up the ass. So,
oh yeah,
we're doing that, and then I'm gonna take a little flyer on Tom Kim, even though he's not on my card at all. I'm just gonna throw a little something, maybe not even a full unit, but a partial unit on him to win outright. You know what? Did it 3 years ago or whatever the fuck it was, 2021, 22, 22. Let's get that Tom Kim magic. I mean, that's more so like I'm just doing that so I got a little skin in the game. If something crazy happens, again, probably not putting a full unit on that. But
no. One time, Tom. We want to see some Tom Him one time this season.
Again, one of the more impressive. I don't know if comeback's the right word for it, but when he did win this tournament by 5 whole strokes and at one point had a 7-stroke lead on Sunday after quadruple bogeying the very first hole of the tournament on Thursday.
Yeah. It was epic. It was epic. I've got no outrights this week, Noah. There is not one golfer that I can truly like rest my hat on and say this is who I think is going to win this week. This is definitely a Friday night, Saturday night, let's pick a golfer going into Sunday type situation for me.
I don't blame you. You know what Tom Kim's odds were after he quadruple bogeyed that first hole?
What?
He was at plus 80,000. And I don't know if anybody in the world took that. I'm sure maybe somebody did somewhere, but yeah, just crazy to think about. Like, he won that event by 5 whole strokes, and somebody like you could have had him at plus 80K after he quadruple bogeyed the first hole. Not that I would ever recommend, betting on a golfer after quadruple bogeying the first hole on Thursday.
No,
because I think that's only been successful probably the one time.
Yeah, for sure. That's not something you see happen all the time.
I mean, you don't even see a lot of these guys quadruple bogey any hole ever.
No. That's something I do. That is something.
But maybe it's the Wyndham Championship. If somebody quadruple bogeys the first hole, throw a little flyer.
Slam them.
Maybe not slam, but
auto bet. No, I'm shit. No. Sweet dude. Anything else in the world of the PGA that you want to touch on?
No, I don't think so. I mean, obviously the Wyndham, a big one. We're going to see where the points come out at. Who will be playing at I believe it's St. Jude is the...
Yeah, St. Jude is what we got up next.
Okay, St. Jude, BMW, and then the Tour Championship. Yeah, so we'll see who can work their way into the top
Ooh.
70 to be able to play at the St. Jude. Obviously, point values double
Yes.
in the playoff events, so lot of movement that could happen. That's how we ended up with was it Glover last year who like
Oh, he was like threatening.
was it Glover or somebody else who won like back to back events and then all of a sudden was like ranked third in the FedEx Cup standings
Who was
because they were
that?
playoff events. Hang on, I'll find it.
All right.
Ah, shit. Never mind. I don't know. Anyways,
I don't know either. I'm struggling.
not
Anyway.
not important. By the way, Sahith Thagala did finish third in the FedEx Cup last year, and then now is wow.
Hey,
Just
sometimes you have a bad round, sometimes you have a bad season.
well, and sometimes you have a tremendous round when it matters most, but you also have to get yourself into the top 30 to give yourself a position to have a tremendous round like that and earn $7.5 million. And now he's struggling to keep his player cards. So
Yeah.
I love Sahith, so I hope he turns in a really good week and cracks that top 125, and then he can take the off season to hone his golf game back in, and we can figure it out.
That's all he needs to do. Just take the off season, then he'll be fine.
He's just got to
Stay
keep
chilling.
a player card, but
He'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. Perfect, dude. Well, hey, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to everyone watching here on Rumble, YouTube, and over on X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. But with all that being said, I'm the Brofect one, AJ. That's the Money Train Noah, and we'll see you next time on Degenerate Takes.